Hey everybody, it's Simcoe Spring Service, and today we're going to be talking about trailer lift block kits. But I feel like there's something missing behind me now, so let's go fix that. So there we go. I think that'll do just fine. So we're talking about trailer lift kits. So I've been working on this for 5 years and actually came up with my first design almost 10 years ago. But I've been really trying to hone in on a new design for the last 4.5 to 5 years. And I think I've finally come up with the perfect design for a trailer lift kit. Now, if you look back at some of the histories of my lift kit videos, you'll notice that I first started off with a 2-inch lift block. And that was the pinnacle of what I was capable of manufacturing at the time, and that was also the most common requested size. But after about a year and a half of making 2-inch lift blocks, I had a lot of requests to make 3-inch lift blocks and 1-inch lift blocks. So lo and behold, what did I have to do? I had to go make myself a 3-inch lift block and a 1-inch lift block. But the most common thing that I hear is that people said in my first video that you should never lift your trailer more than 2 inches. And there's a partial reason why. When you have a 1 3/4 inch wide spring and you're lifting at 3 inches, now the block is almost twice as tall as it is wide. So that leads to stability issues. So one of the ways that you can fix that is to get a more ride X-Factor cross member and put your cross members across from hanger to hanger on your suspension, and then it'll help stiffen up your suspension. So if you're doing a lot of twisting and turning and stuff like that, then your suspension can handle it a little bit better. And if you're jackknifing hard, then you're not putting as much strain on your hangers and stuff like that. The hangers were really the real reason why I didn't like lifting it up that much, because you're now putting more strain 3 inches down farther on your suspension, which creates more leverage. So that was actually one of the reasons why I didn't really like the idea of a 3-inch lift block. So if you're looking to install a 3-inch lift block, we offer the MORRIDE X-Factor cross member on our website, and you can click the link in the description down below. So now that that's out of the way, let's go back through the history of this kit and what has now evolved into. So my original design for these lift blocks were kind of interesting. So I had rudimentary tools. I just had a rough clamp. I would take my block and clamp it in my vise, and I would hold it by hand. It wasn't fixed to anything. And what I would do is I would take a standard length center bolt, cut it down, fish it in like so, into the block to a certain height, and then I would stick a welder in the end of the hole and weld it in place. But the issue I had was that you would often weld to the side of the hole, and you'd have to re-drill it out a second or third time, depending on how many times you had issues. So that was not really a sustainable way to manufacture these things. So then we want to go back to my second design, where I would also take the center bolts, cut them down, and I would weld them into a hollow structural plate steel. And then I would weld a bunch of gussets on the inside, much like my 3-inch block, like that, except for I had one gusset on this side, one gusset on the other side. And I thought I needed to do that for extra strength and stability, not knowing I could just put one in the middle. So that was a huge amount of work that I put into it. And I believe the first batch we made 136 in that first batch. And it took us 2 people 36 hours each to make them. So we had like 72 hours roughly into the manufacturing of that first batch of blocks. And that was crazy, because by the time we were done, we had half sold them. So then I started looking for a new design. Now, I actually am not proud of this design because it didn't work the way I wanted it to. Because what I would do is I would go back to my solid block of steel. I'd drill my 5/8 hole in here. And what I would do is I would drill a 9/16 hole on the other end, and I would hydraulically press a pin into the end of the block. Now, we only did this for about 6 months, because the issue that we had was the quality control on it was terrible, because if we drilled the hole too big, the pin would fall through. And if we drilled the hole too tight, well, then the pin wouldn't be able to get pressed in. It would just like mash into the top of the block. And we fought with this thing for months trying to figure out a good way to get it to work. And I kept on going back and forth between a couple of manufacturing friends of mine that are in CNC trade. And they're like, you got to use a CNC machine. I'm like, I don't have a CNC machine. So we went and bought ourselves a CNC machine. Now, the CNC machine works great. I love it. In fact, that allowed us to make the 1-inch block, the 2-inch block, and the 3-inch block all within 3 months of me unboxing my CNC machine. I taught myself G-code, and I learned how to run and program my CNC machine, which was awesome. And it worked out really, really, really well until we decided we wanted to build a new building. And also because making these blocks here, if you can tell, there's roughly about 8 inches of weld in the inside of that block on both sides, so 16 inches of weld. So even though we were parts tumbling them, getting the forge scale off of every single component was rough. So what we would have to do is we'd have to belt sand them to get as much of the forge scale off as possible. And then we would throw them in the parts tumbler to clean and deburr them. And then we'd throw them in the CNC machine. We'd run them, drill all our holes. We'd thread and tap them, and we'd put our little pins in them. And it worked decently well, except for the fact that I went to go make 1,300 of them for the year, and it took me 7 months to make them. From the day that I ordered my blocks of steel until the day I finished welding them, it took me 7 months to make just those, along with all my other responsibilities being a business owner. So I didn't think it was sustainable. Went to a trade show last year, and we met a company called Leth Iron. And he gave me a quote, and we went back and forth, probably between a dozen and 16 times. And I sent him some 3D models. I 3D printed, and I sent them the files. And what they did was they gave me a couple of suggestions on what I could do to turn that into a usable product, something that they could cast for me. So while my building is being built and I can't use my CNC machine, plus the unsustainability of the 3-inch block and manufacturing it without hiring a whole new crew or buying a robotic welder, because we looked into that for quite a substantial period of time to get them robotic welded, I went and sent him these, which is another 3D printed version of a lift block that I thought he could come up with a design for. And after going back and forth, you can see that this is perfectly flat on the side. And we've got these relief holes in there to reduce the weight, because weight is also an issue. Most of the packages that we ship out right now are about 30 pounds. If we were to make them solid steel and cast, they would also shrink and have holes that would, as the steel shrinks, it would create pits and holes in it, so the surfaces wouldn't be completely flat. So that was another issue that we were trying to solve all at the same time. So then he sent me back the Mark I version. And it has a little bit of a taperedness, about a 3 to 5 degree taper on there. Also that when you mold it and you put it into the forms, you can pull them apart and none of the sand will fall out. Now, working with these guys was awesome. And we got this stuff figured out from this design to my final design in roughly about a 2 to 3 week time period. And mostly because I had to 3D print every single model. So he would send me a model and design, and then I would 3D print it, and then I would test it on all my components to see if it would fit. Then we'd make minor adjustments and send them back. So this has been one heck of a process. We started trying to figure this out probably in 2020, and now it's 2026. So I think I finally found the solution. And I got a couple of skids worth of parts here that I want to show you. I've barely peeked in, so let's do an unboxing. Of course, I had to do a sneak peek. There's all your little treasures down there. I've barely even taken the packing slip off. It's the first time looking at it, and there's 597 1-inch lift blocks in here. All right. I'm a little nervous and excited because I haven't seen these yet. I've seen samples, but I haven't seen the real thing. Wow. Here we go. Interesting. So you can see, I don't know if you can see this, it's got my part number stamped right in it. 1 TLB, or 1-inch trailer lift block. And then it's got their casting mark in it and a number 6. So, and that's got a 7 and a 5 and a 2 and a 1. So I'm assuming that's like the mold number. I guess if they have an issue with certain ones that come out, they can see it's like, hey, number 6 is bad, or hey, number 6 isn't pouring right, we should go take a look at it, or hey, number 6 is doing really, really, really well. You know, let's use that mold because it's doing perfectly. Because I mean, you're going to have variants of discrepancies of, wow, sorry. Like every single part is going to pour differently depending on the liquidity of the steel as they pour it into the molds and stuff. So, wow. So I'm thinking what I'd like to do, so these are all powder coated too, so they come powder coated. Now, Leth Iron did not powder coat them. I had another company powder coat them, but so everything's going to come powder coated now instead of painted, because we used to just spray paint them all. So there's a lot higher quality product in my eyes, and I think it looks pretty darn good. So if you compare the original block to this one, you can see imperfections where the paints was sticking, a couple of spots where the paint's rubbed off, and this one looks basically almost perfect. And it looks a little bit more professional as well. And if I need them, I just give them a call, and 6 to 8 weeks later, they show up. So, pretty cool. All right, so let's get this box shortened so I can actually like touch them instead of reaching in. All right, let's crack this thing open. Hopefully I can cut it. When they said they were shipping it in a cardboard box, I was like, how do they do that? But apparently if you make the cardboard thick enough, you can do anything. But yeah, if anybody knows anything more about these numbers, let me know. But I'm thinking it's a mold number 9. So this is going to be the new lift block kits. So they're going to come with 2 blocks, 2 U-bolt plates, and 4 U-bolts. Now I'm still experimenting with a couple of different kinds of companies for these U-bolt plates. Eventually I'm probably going to get my own manufactured, but I have to increase my sales to be able to buy my own dies to get these stamped out. But right now, essentially I'm bouncing back and forth between a couple of different companies that have these, because when I first started looking for them, I want them with either 1/2 inch or 9/16 U-bolt holes. So some of them only come with 1/2 inch, so I have to drill them out, like this one here. I don't know if you can see a couple scratch marks there, but I do have to drill these out. But I do like the design. This ribbing that goes down the middle here makes it super, super strong, so that when you go and tighten the U-bolt around the spring, it doesn't bend and flex. So it's crucially important for me to have the heaviest U-bolt plate. Now we used to make our own, but that's going to be discontinued as well. So we can buy these U-bolt plates, drill them out, and still be cheaper than making them ourselves. Plus we torque tested these things, and actually these things torque out at a higher spec than the ones that we were making anyways. So I'm kind of happy with that. And eventually I want to get them all zinc plated and stuff like that, but there will be a transition period between a couple of different versions until we can nail it down and really get that figured out. But now that we got the blocks figured out, now I can focus on working on some other stuff. But yeah, I'm excited. So this is a huge transition for me, because now I just have 6 part numbers, because you can get them in a 1-inch block, a 2-inch block, or a 3-inch block. And then you can get them for a 2 3/8 axle or a 3-inch axle. And that's it. So we're only going to have 6 variants now, whereas before we had 45 variants. And it was really difficult to keep up with the inventory, because some stuff we would put into boxes and we wouldn't sell it for like a year, and other stuff we would sell 8 or 10 times a week, depending on what part number it was. So this will make sure inventory keeps moving and refreshing, and there's not just like weird dead stock sitting on the shelves all the time, because when stuff doesn't sell, it just costs you money to sit in there. Oh, and one more thing too, is because we're only gonna be selling 6 part numbers, we can ship them out like insanely fast, like ridiculously fast. Like sometimes if you put an order in, you get a notification right away, it's because it's been picked that fast. So I think streamlining that is really important for me as a business owner, because I wanna make sure that you guys get good quality service and you get your product as fast as possible. And if you want to support a small business, believe me, we're small because this is my garage that I'm running my online store out of. So yeah, go check it out online at simcoespring.com. And I have 600 blocks to go bag up. There you go, that's about 65 bags roughly, maybe 70. And here's the next layer. I'm sure I can do the math on this real quick. So I know how many is in a layer. But yeah, if you ever need to lift your trailer 1, 2, or 3 inches, or if you want a cross member for your trailer, you can look it up online. Link will be in the description down below. And we're the only company in North America that makes a cast steel lift block for a trailer, so tell your friends. And order it online at simcoespring.com. I'll catch you next time. All right, bye.